Welcome to the Rainbow Push Coalition. We're so pleased to have you join us this Saturday. It's 1 week before our convention, and we are excited. We want you to, we're going to have a brief remarks from a representative from Secretary of State Janulius's office. Give them a round of applause as they come. Spare.
Good morning. Thank you. My name's Andre Garner, and I'm not a stranger here to Push. I'm here today to talk about something I'm personally attached to and passionate about. About 91,000 people in America are awaiting a kidney donation. Far too many of those folks are people of color, and a lot of it has to do with a lot of different issues, but it's a serious health issue that is far too prevalent in African American communities in particular. Many of us probably know someone who needs a kidney. If we don't know anyone who's in dire immediate need of a kidney, we probably know someone who's experiencing the need for, who is on dialysis, or we know someone who's probably almost need of dialysis or on the way. So I have a friend and a friend of our communities, Suzanne Williams, who recently appeared on ABC 7 News. I woke up two Saturdays ago to see her. She's normally a reserved woman, and she's literally pleading for the life of her mother on the news. And it struck me a little bit differently because I've known Suzanne and her husband, Vincent Williams, for over 30 years. I know their children. And they've been on this crusade for a while now. Her dad passed away, and her brother passed away from similar types of needs. And wanted to just talk with everyone here and everyone I come in contact for the next few days. I'm calling it a campaign that we're speaking of as Black Kidneys Matter. All right? So those of us who know people who are on dialysis should realize, if you don't already, that dialysis loses its effectiveness after a little more than 2.5 years. So, and we also know that people like my mom and my in-laws and folks who've carried some of the baggage from the wrong that's been done to our communities as a result of medical research, we know what some of that is, has impacted our willingness to get involved with medical advancement. And I'm here today to ask, along with folks from the Secretary of State's office and from an organization we know of as Gift of Hope, to ask if you would please reconsider many of our long-held uncomfortableness with getting involved with advancements and being tested for being a donor, because our communities need it the most, and our community has the smallest pool of prospective donors. Please be tested, because we need kidneys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Each and every week we will invite people from the community to come and give announcements between 9:45 and 10 o'clock. We're live on Facebook. We want people to get information on what people are doing, how we can be helpful to them. And so we're excited today. We have a lot of... What you pointing? Is it time for her to sing? You know, they be giving me hand signals. We have a lot of guests today from out of town. All the way from Long Beach, California, the Reverend Pleasant is here. The Reverend Melton Pleasant, right over here. He has a rich history. His family has a rich history in Chicago with our own, many of our own pastors, Reverend Clay Evans. At Fellowship, Reverend Pleasant is the reason Reverend Evans got ordained, one of the reasons. And so won't you greet warmly as our soloist comes and brings us some exciting music. Exciting. Take us up.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Wake up, everybody. We ain't in bed no more, right? Welcome to Rainbow Push. We're just making a little noise until programming starts. My name is Miss Michelle. We have on keys Benjamin Moore and on drums JD. One more time, y'all. One more time. Whoa, yeah. Here we go. I've been waiting for you. It's been so long. I knew just what I would do when I heard your song. You filled my heart with your bliss, gave me freedom. You knew I could not resist. I needed someone, and now we're flying through the stars. I hope this night will last forever. Hey, oh, 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 ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better than you. Oh, oh, oh. I'll wait for night time to come and bring you to me. I can't believe I'm the one. I was so lonely. I feel like no one could feel. You must be dreaming. I want this dream to be real. I need this feeling. And now we're flying in the sky. I hope this night will last forever. Oh, 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 oh. Ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. Oh, 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 first you put your arms around, then you put your charms around. Got a feeling more than treasure. Oh, the nights are warm and tender. Oh, we fell into each other's eyes. Oh, and what we found is no surprise. Hey, got a feeling more than treasure. Oh, and I love so deep I cannot endure. That makes me feel this way. Oh, ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Thank you all so much. We hope that you guys are enjoying your coffee, enjoying the breakfast, And in just a moment, we're going to get started. Can everybody just snap their fingers like this? Come on, band, kick it with me real good. Say, hey, yeah, oh. Come on, right here. You make my soul a burning fire. You're getting to be my one desire. You're getting to be all that matters to me. Well, let me tell you, boy, I light a candle every day and pray that you always feel this way, and pray that my love will forever be new. 'Cause all I do is think about you. I hear y'all singing, is think about you. Hey, hey, all I do is think about you. Oh, baby, just suppose I should happen to cross your mind. Oh, yeah. And by some chance, a girl like me, you've really been trying to find. Well, let me tell you, boy, think how exciting it would be if you should discover you feel like me. If you should discover this thing is for two. Well, let me tell you, boy, if I can't have you on my own, I'd rather be lonely all alone. I'd rather keep thinking the way that I do. 'Cause all I do is think about you. Hey, yeah, you. Hey, hey, all I do is think about you. Come on, band, break it down for me. Hey, 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 I'm thinking, baby, about you, baby. I'm thinking, baby, give it to me, just an ordinary day. Hey, until I came around, and now my life's upside down. Hey, imagine that. Oh, all I do is think about you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin. If everyone can stand to their feet.
It's on each and every day.
Everybody put your hands together. Hey, the push is on. There's work for us to do. Hey, the push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? Hey, the push is on. Oh, the work is up to you. Hey, the push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? Oh, we can make it a better place. We can make it a better place if we only try, only try. We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place if we only try.
Well, we're excited that you're here. We're excited about those of you who are watching us on all of our different platforms. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're on WJYS TV. We're on WVON Radio. We're on the Word Network. We're so happy that you have joined us today. And so as we continue the mission of our founder. We are doing what? We're gaining, protecting, and defending civil and human rights, leveling the playing field for economic and educational justice. And we are working for everyone. We are a rainbow push coalition. We know when we fight, we win. When we don't fight, we lose. We are fighting for justice, equity for everyone. So help me say, the push is on.
Hey, the push is on. There's work for us to do. Hey, the push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? Oh, we can make it a better place. We can make it a better place if we only try, only try. We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place if we only try.
Remain standing, hold your fists as we sing the National Negro National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise and the ringing skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song, full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song, full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Please remain standing for our invocation, which will be led by Reverend Paul Jakes from the 2nd Congressional District. 7.
But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles, run and not be weary, walk and not faint. Lord, we come today thanking you for this organization and, Lord, the rock that it stands upon. And we ask, God, that you will continue to let us march on until victory is won. Bless our founder, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. Bless, Lord, those that are here in the staff. And, Lord, we thank you for his son, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. And, Lord, we ask today that you will inspire this service, this ministry, that information and education will take place in order for us to move and to deal with the Oval Office in D.C. And we pray this victory in Jesus' name. Amen.
You may be seated. Today we mourn the passing of award-winning journalist, formerly on NBC, Renee Ferguson. Her services are not complete at this time, but we're praying for the Ferguson family and for all of the, particularly all of the journalists, but most importantly, the African-American journalists, many of whom Renee Ferguson mentored throughout her lifetime. We're also praying for the family of the Reverend William Watts Sr., who worked with us in the prison outpost and with our religious affairs division for many years prior to his becoming ill. His service is now going on while our broadcast is happening. We also pray especially for the victims of the tornado in St. Louis. 5,000 buildings were destroyed. Many of the buildings were inhabited by renters. And if you know, when you rented, you didn't have renters insurance. So the entire building is down. The owner of the building has insurance. The renters do not. Many of the renters were African American, and so many of the faith leaders have been going to St. Louis trying to determine how we can be of assistance to those residents. Now, I want to tell you to register for the PUSH conference. This year is going to be a powerful conference in the midst of so much trauma, so much confusion, flowing from every level of government, so many cuts. And I know you're saying, well, what we going to do? How we going to make it? Well, we're going to make it together. And so this conference is the one. If you haven't ever been to a PUSH convention, you want to come this year. Why do you want to come? Because you want to know where to go. You want to see who's doing something that can help you understand how to fight back. Don't give up. Don't give out. We've been here before. Not with this administration, but we've had these challenges. And so we want you to join us next Thursday, June 12th. Faith and civic leaders will be gathering at Higher 360, a building on 25th and State, where you will hear, where do we go from here? So we started several years ago. PUSH was founded with faith and civic leaders. In 1971, 300 faith leaders came to Chicago to join with Reverend Jackson to form this organization, which is now called the Rainbow PUSH Coalition. So you want to be there at noon. The registration is free, but you do pay for the meal. And we want you to go to rainbowpush.org. You get more information, more details. Register now for the PUSH convention. Registration is free. Say registration is free. I got to pay to eat. And you can get all of that online. If you have a problem, come by PUSH, 930 East 50th Street. We have people waiting for you right now to register. Call us, 773-FREEDOM, 773-FREEDOM. And then some of the people, you're going to want to meet these people. Reverend Jamal Bryant, John Hope Bryant, George Frazier, Nicole Turner Lee, Anusha Tamika, Citizens Action Illinois, Reverend Al Sharpton, Attorney C.K. Hoffler, John Nichols from the Nation magazine, Mary Green from Black Women's Expo. We're all coming together. So Thursday afternoon, I know you're saying, what are we going to do? We're going down to State and Madison, and we're going to be outside of Target. Not going inside, not blocking you if you must shop, but we're not shopping. Just join me in silent protests, nonviolent protests. And then that night, we're going to go to our home church, Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church. From 7 to 9, we're going to have the gospel concert. Why? Because we have to lift our spirits as we continue to fight and stand for justice. And so you want to be there. We have some powerful people going to sing. We got a comedian going to lift our spirits. And then we're getting ready for Friday. Say Friday. Well, we're going to be over at Tory Barrett's Supper Club for breakfast. And we're going to learn about economic empowerment, economic justice, having a conversation with John Hope Bryant and George Frazier. You don't want to miss it. And that will be a cost. And then after that, you come back to Rainbow PUSH headquarters, 930 East 50th Street, and we're going to have some panels. We're going to find out what's happening with the media. I know you're wondering. We're going to talk about what happened the first 200 days of this administration. What happened with it? And we're going to talk about that. They're talking about that over there, but I'm talking about it here. So join us Friday here. And then Friday night, women. We're going to be strong. Women who have been taking charge, taking action. We're going to be at the Soho Club. Women, you want to join us? We have women leaders from across the city and across the nation will be joining us. Women been standing strong a long time. and we're going to stand in this moment. And so if women, all women's organizations, all women leaders, all women, join us at the Soho Club. But you have to register. You have to go to rainbowpush.org, register, and get your ticket. There are no tables. We're standing at the Soho House. You'll understand it when you get there. Okay, also, today we have state senators Guzman and Robert Peters from the state of Illinois. They're going to tell us what happened in Springfield. Where are we? What we going to do? They have some good information. They have some challenges that we need to know about. And so they're going to tell us. This state senator's over here. And over here, you know him, our congressman, the Reverend, no, he's not Reverend. It's my congressman. But he has this, you do know he has this spiritual calling on him anyway. Y'all say amen. Congressman Jonathan Reverend Jackson. I love Jonathan Jackson, Congressman Jackson. And then we have Jackie Alge, who is Vice President of SEIU. She's going to tell us what's happening in SEIU healthcare and what's going on. We got a lot going on, and I'm not going to spend much time telling you all about them. I'm going to let them talk for themselves. So we're going to start with senators, Guzman and Peters. Okay, who wants to go first? Senator Peters, Senator Robert Peters, you come at this time.
Good morning. I'm going to go through 3 pieces to talk about Springfield. I'm going to go through the budget conversation. I'm going to split it up with Senator Guzman. She's going to talk about some parts of the budget. And then I'm going to go through... Good morning, sir. Give him a round of applause. I just want to acknowledge Reverend Jesse Jackson's in the building. Again, give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Reverend. Thank you. So I'm going to go through the budget, and then I'm going to go through some of the things we're hoping to get done legislatively around transit and around property taxes. And then we're going to talk about a bill that's important to the legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson, which is the Reverend Jesse Jackson Youth Voter Engagement Act, and the hope that we can get this done in an election omnibus. Let me just start off first. As you know, in D.C., with this president and this Congress, it has been immensely difficult. We have a chaotic president and a chaotic administration, a chaotic Congress. We have a court that is not necessarily in our favor, and we are dealing with crisis each and every day. And it seems like it's a new crisis. Sometimes it seems intentional. Sometimes it seems accidental. For example, we had 2 billionaires fighting it out on Twitter just a couple days ago that took up all our time, where people are trying to figure out how they're going to have food on the table, how they're going to be able to get their kids to school, how they're going to be able to pay rent. This type of distraction from these 2 very privileged people who are trying to hold our country hostage has been destructive. And that destructiveness has put this state in a place of uncertainty. We had projections for what we hoped the budget was going to be in February, and it shifted massively by the time we got to April. Partly because of the economic uncertainty, it left us in a place where we were $500 million short in the revenues needed to have a balanced budget. I will just say we were mostly able to balance that budget because for the first time in a long time, the state was particularly creative when it came to taxing the wealthy. A variety of taxes to make sure that those who have the money pay their fair share, particularly corporations, were put into this budget that we hope to get done. And what we were able to fund or save, and I'm going to let Senator Guzman to go into other parts of it, but I'm going to go through a few pieces. I'm going to go through violence prevention, economic development and infrastructure, and higher education. And then I'm going to transition to 2 things I hope we can get done that we weren't able to get done. The first piece in violence prevention is, I don't know if you know this, we talk, Chicago gets a bad rap, Illinois gets a bad rap when it comes to violence. And we still have a violence issue, and we have a huge violence gap, particularly when it comes to Black, to Latino, Black to white communities. But we should also take some hope in the fact that we've actually reduced violence this year. April was the lowest murder count since the 60s. We are too hard on ourselves. We should be proud of the work we've done. And in this state and in this city, we've been particularly creative when it comes to violence prevention. We have an Office of Firearm Violence Prevention, which holds the Reimagine Public Safety Act, and we've been able to fund millions of dollars into violence prevention, violence intervention efforts, and we've been able to continue to put funding in there. And so this year, we've been able to keep that office and keep that work going, while at the same time, Trump got rid of that office at the federal level. What the state of Illinois, instead of going in another direction, has decided to say, we're going to stick strong to what's been working. And the hope is that we continue to fund this and we continue to push this, even though in the initial funding on this was because of ARPA funds. This is coming now from our funds because we've seen the progress of this work. Yesterday, there was a story in WBEZ where a reporter did a ride-along with someone who does violence intervention work. We're hearing the real human side of this work. We're seeing violence from its human aspect and not its abstract aspect. We're hearing about the people who've been impacted by violence and who are fighting back against violence and are on the streets every day. We have too many people who are Twitter warriors talking about the city of Chicago negatively when we need people to be on the ground doing the work to help us be a safer, better city. And then let's talk about safety, because oftentimes when we talk about safety, we talk about it like it's rocket science. It is not rocket science. Safety is pretty clear. You give people good food, you give people a good job, you give people good housing, you give people a sense of power, they have safety. That's a safe community. The South Shore should look like the North Shore each and every day because they have the resources, the life that everybody deserves. One of the things we were able to get done and keep funding was called the Grocery Store Initiative, which is supposed to deal with food deserts. This is a work where the state provides money to put grocery stores in both urban and rural communities, seeing the idea of food deserts tied together. We're able to refund that. My hope is that every time we're facing a story about a grocery store closing in the city of Chicago, that is a unique opportunity for us at the city and the state to step up and take money to bring a community grocery store to a community in need. That if folks in the private sector aren't going to step up, then we're going to have to step up. And that's okay. I don't think when it comes to feeding people, we should only live by what's happening in terms of profit margin. An empty stomach is a deficit that's too hard to bear for our families. And so it's our job to make sure to look at people so they have full bellies so that when they go to class and they go to school, they can focus on what's happening in school and not focusing on what they need for lunch. We put money in, we continue to fund MAP grants. My hope is that we are able to expand a little bit of that MAP grant work. This is going to be a fight. There are people who are incarcerated who are getting an education, and they should be able to get that education. There should be two things you get when you're incarcerated. You should have hope that you're going to be able to get out one day, and when you do, you're going to be able to settle because we're saying when you come back in, we're making sure you start off on the right foot, not on the wrong foot. And the other one is if you're going to provide programs for people, make it worth it for them to be able to be in those programs. Because you can't provide programs and then provide no hope. And our job is to provide hope for people. You go to any other major country in the world. You go to the richest countries in the world outside the United States. Why is it that they're safer than we are? Because they do it differently than we do. And it is on us to change how we do safety because we should be as safe or safer than Germany, the United Kingdom, Japan. Not only should people pay their fair share, people deserve to have safety. And people need to know that in every corner, in every part of your life, that safety is going to be there. And even when you were younger and you did something wrong, you'll one day come out. And our job is not to throw you out like trash. It's to say how we're going to build you back up. And then, so I'm going to wrap up with two things. We were almost able to get a property tax reform bill that would have expanded the senior freeze and tied it to inflation. We also had a response to a court case which paused tax sales. We were able to get that done in the Senate. We're hopeful that we can get this done this year. The other one is we had a transit bill that was going to save our transit system. We were able to move it out of the Senate. My hope is that we'll be able to get out of the House. This is a very serious fiscal cliff We're talking about 40% service cuts. We're talking about 3,000 jobs that could be lost. We have an immense responsibility to make sure we react in this moment to deal with this fiscal cliff and to deal with transit. Because, again, I said about safety, you have to be able to get from point A to point B. You can't if your bus line's taken away from you. Then I'll just end on this. We have the Reverend Jesse Jackson Youth Voter Engagement Law. And I want to shout out some organizations that did some amazing work on this. We have Rainbow Push. Everybody give a round of applause. League of Women Voters Chicago, League of Women Voters Illinois, Chicago Women Take Action, Citizen Action Illinois, GOTV for Teens, Know Your Power Vote, Chicago Votes, Common Cause Illinois, Change Illinois, She Votes Illinois, Chicago Urban League, Real Men Charities Incorporated, the Mayor Harold Washington Legacy Committee. We are this close to being able to get this bill in an elections omnibus. My hope is that this year we can get this legacy bill done, because we need to get it done. Our young people need to be civically engaged, and it is our job in these roles to make sure that we're leading people to be civically engaged, and we are that close, and the organizing done on this has been fantastic. Let me tell you something. Dr. Roberts texts me at least every week to make sure I'm on top of it. I'm always giving her as many updates as I can to get this done, and I believe fundamentally we are that close that we'll make it happen. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Senator Peters. And now we have another state senator, Senator Guzman. Now, I need to tell you about Senator Peters. He's overcome a lot. So when he promises, I believe him. He was born deaf. He had a speech impediment, adoptive parents, and yet he's still fighting and has made it thus far. I am so proud of you. And Senator Guzman is a Salvadorian immigrant who has come here and is fighting. She's a state senator from up north, Logan Square, Avondale. Won't you come?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I think the part we left out is that Jackie Algie is my movement mom, which says everything about why I'm here with you all this morning, sharing space, and honored to come after my brother, Robert Peters. This was my first year in the assembly. So as you can imagine, Robert had to pull me in a lot. So thank you, Robert, for that. So just maybe picking it up where he left off. I think the budget is, I think as I was walking in, you all were talking about Medicaid, which I think is apt and important. When we think about 3.4 million people across our state that depend on Medicaid for everything from their basic health care to how their care gets managed to some transportation and so many things, we know it's such a really vital safety net for us, which is why our legislature spent so much of the budget season thinking about what it would be to bolster, to prepare, to defend our state from possible cuts. So some of the things I think I want to lay that frame out, because some of the investments that you see in the healthcare space is the beginning of how our state is basically putting up the fortress. We know healthcare is one of our top investments. Federal government will try, and I'm really appreciative, Congressman, for your presence, for your continued advocacy around Medicaid. We have your back because we know we need Medicaid strong, right? Thank you. But to that end, some of the things that we were able to do in our budget that I think are really important, you'll see some additional funding for developmental disabilities, for the direct supports that many of those folks receive in their home and in the community. Our community safety nets that take care of so many people that are underinsured, don't have health insurance, are on Medicaid, received an increase, and that'll be about $600 million between a hospital assessment and some direct grants, which is great to really think about how do we start doing that now prior to these federal cuts. I see you trying to clap. I think that's a clappable item for sure. I don't want any hospitals to close anywhere, period, right? I also think the really important piece that I know Jackie and other folks can speak more to is I think a really big win for our community care program that received an increase this year. That'll mean that our caregivers and our in-home providers, that mean that our folks get to live with the independence that they want in their home, will be able to do that because they're not going to have to suffer from not having a caregiver when they really need it the most. Right, so when we think about our people living a dignified life in their home, in their community, our revenue and our budget is helping do that. Thank you. No, thank you. And Thanks. I think the other piece now, so since we're talking about home and housing, I think that's a really good transition to what also happened in our budget. So over the last couple of years, we've seen Home Illinois as a strategy of the state that helps us prevent homelessness, helps us lean into crisis response, and expand what these housing supports looks like, right? And so there's about $263 million in Home Illinois in all kinds of ways, everything from shelters to how we can prevent homelessness to how do we help that folks that are in crisis have somewhere to go in that magical spot that is like the 48 hours when something happens to you, right? When we know those services are really, really critical. So for everything that I just said, there was still a reduction in homeless dollars. So why do I say that? Because many of our homelessness providers across the state are trying to recalibrate what their programs are going to look like. So we've got some money in, but we know we've got a lot of work to do to ensure that we're working on housing. And I say that because I want to be held accountable for continuing to do that work and just keep it up front. We've got work to do in that space. And I think the last update that I'd give you when I think about our littles, our babies, and the legacy that I think our state is trying to continue, we have about $307 million, and the evidence-based formula. That's a maintenance, though. That's commensurate with what we've been doing over the last couple of years. And I think the really big thing that as community we have to remember is we have school districts across the state that are still not adequate and will not be adequate by the goal that we had set as the legislature, which is 2027. So again, you're hearing the trend. We staved off some stuff, but we still got work to do to ensure that we're advancing and really progressing the educational system that all of our children need, not just in the city, but across the state. But some other things that I think we can look to that we know we've been hearing from folks, they've said, where are our after-school programs? Right, so there's $35 million, that's a $10 million increase that's going to be going to after-school providers to make sure that those programs are nice and strong. And I think the last piece that I'm really happy is coming back is the minority teacher mentorship program, because it's really hard to be in the classroom if your teacher doesn't come from your community, if they don't know your experiences, if they don't look like us, if they don't sound like us, if they don't understand the framework that we're in, right? So we also have investments there, which I think to say is the last line that we were left with as senators when we left the assembly is we will be back when Illinois needs us to be back. So that might be October, November, it might be sooner. We're doing a lot of work, not just on transit, but on healthcare and other issues. We're on call working with you all. So keep giving us your feedback, and I'm really excited to be here to hear what your issues are. But thank you so much, and with that, I'll give it back over.
Thank you so much. You have now heard a state report. We want one of our labor leaders, Jackie Algie, to come at this time. She's Vice President of SEIU Healthcare. Following her, we will have a musical selection, and then the next speaking voice you will hear will be none other than our federal representative. He's my congressman. I just want you to know. Congressman Jonathan Luther Jackson.
Good morning. Okay, we're going to do a little better than that. Good morning. Good morning. All right. You should see you. You're looking fabulous. And we're here for a good reason, and that is to give you an update, a report on what happened in our, not only from a federal perspective, but from a state perspective as well. And we just want to give another round of applause to our senators. I claim them both as my children. Who I am extremely proud of because they always stand up and do the right thing at the right time. So, again, I'm Jackie Algie, SEIU, Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Missouri. I am a vice president of that labor union and director of external relations. I like to say that, yeah, that's a whole lot. But you know what? It's a fancy title for community organizer because that's what I get up every day doing. Organizing the community to support labor, our over 92,000 members in 4 states, and our broader community. And so wherever we can find alliances, that's what we work to do, and I make sure it happens. So this past session, I'm going to talk about 3 things that we worked on primarily. One is the community care program. So how many of you in here know what that might mean? Just a guess. Community care program. Caring about folks, right? You are a recipient, right? I see you raising your hand, Mama. So, community care program helps to take care of people in their homes, helps to take care of people in institutions and facilities. And the people that provide that care, a good number of them are our members, right? And a good number of them are not only our members, but they look like the majority of us in this room. They're black women, brown women who work every day, have been for years, taking care of others. But guess what? They were only making $18 an hour. That ain't right. In today's economy, we talk about this every day, right? What it costs for a dozen of eggs and what it costs for gas and we always are talking about what it costs, but we don't talk about how people can get an increase in their salaries so that they can afford what it costs, right? So we went in, as labor does, and we asked, you go in high. You go in asking when you're negotiating for what you want. So we went in asking for a $2 increase for those workers, right? Boy, it was a battle. This whole session, and I just want to commend my daughter, Graciela, again, because one of the things that she said, and it holds true, we put in the work. We actually put in the work. We were down in Springfield every week, many lobby days. We had 2 big lobby days where we had over 500 people filling the rotunda. Oh, you should have seen it. It was magical. We did every floor and we marched around there because we wanted to make sure not only did our friends and supporters know that we were in the building, but everybody else did too. And we made a loud noise and we kept negotiating at that table. Well, guess what we ended up with? 75 cents. Say that ain't enough. Say that ain't enough. It's okay. They'll take it back. But we ended up with something. So I don't know what school you all came from. I'm going to say thank God for what we ended up with. And guess what? We're not going to stop working. That we don't stop there. And we're going to go back next session. That's right. And continue to work because it still is not enough for people to live off of, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is Medicaid. So everybody knows that's all you've been hearing, right? Medicaid, Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare. Whether you are a direct recipient of Medicaid or not, guess what? It impacts you in some way, form, or fashion. It either impacts you and your immediate family, your extended family, your community. It impacts you. So what do we say about things like that? If it hurts you, it hurts me. You pinch me, I hurt. You pinch her, I hurt, right? And so we have been fighting for Medicaid from the federal and the state level this whole session. Guess what? We're not going to stop. But also, guess what? And I'm sure that he is my congressman too, and my son, Jonathan Jackson, will be willing to attest to the fact that the noise that we've made, the protests that we've had, both from D.C. to the State House in Illinois, have made a difference. We've been protesting, marching, and writing letters and calling. We've been blowing up their phones. They can't even get calls through. We've been making noise and saying, you cannot cut Medicaid. Absolutely cannot cut it. And what it did was, and he's going to talk more about it because he was in the room, they came, was it one vote, right? One vote. So what does that mean? We close. We are close. We made our voices, your voices made a difference. And we're going to keep making a difference. We're going to keep telling them and shouting and protesting and marching, doing everything that we know to do and can do to stop this from happening, because Medicaid is vital and important to us all, right? And then the last thing, thank you. And the last thing that I want to speak on is nursing homes. Okay, show of hands, how many of you have known anyone or know someone who is currently in a nursing home? Wow, majority of this room. And one of the common complaints that you get is lack of care, right? Well, I stand here in defense and representation of the nursing home workers and members in our union who work every day. That's a thankless job. It really is. I mean, occasionally you get a family member or somebody that says, oh, that was good. Thank you for taking care of my mother. And my aunt said you gave it. But it's really pretty thankless, right? Part of the reason that the care is not there as it should be is short staffing. So how do we get to short staffing? Well, you get nursing home owners who get all of this money from the federal government, from every place. I mean, the money that they get, my Lord. Yeah, right. Some of us would like to have that in our bank account, right? And yet they won't pass it down to the workers. They won't pass it down to the workers to make sure that they have the staffing to take care of the people that deserve and need it, right? What we were able to do, because they were trying to get rid of all of that too, and we're going to do our own thing. We have a nursing home association. We bargained and negotiated with them, and guess what? We brought that nursing home association back together, and it's on and popping. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As the band prepares to introduce Congressman Jackson, I want all of you to reach in your pocketbooks right now. This broadcast, we don't charge you to come in, and we don't lock the doors before you get out, but we'd like for you to give willingly, obediently, and cheerfully. We need your support. Membership is $35 a year. Many of you can give more. Some of you can give less. Give as you've been blessed to give right now. They're coming around with envelopes. There's a QR code. You can Zelle. I know you've been waiting for Zelle. You can text the word PUSH to 41444. Text PUSH to 41444 and give that way if you want to give electronically. Or you can reach in your pocket. You can write a check. You can go cash. Old school. However you want to give. Reverend Jackson has been doing this work for more than 60 years. We ought to just give just because he gave so much and continues to give. All of us should give something. We usually start at $100 and we go down. Thank you. Thank you, New Tabernacle from of Faith Baptist Church. We appreciate you. Congratulations on your anniversary, Reverend Jakes. Thank you so much. As you are giving, won't you come and do a musical selection? The next speaking voice you will hear now is Congressman Jonathan Jackson, who is working diligently every day, working for us, not just for the 1st District, but for all of us. Give him a round of applause as he prepares to come.
Exceedingly, abundantly, above all you could ask or think, according to all the power that worketh in you. God is able to do just what he said he would do. Oh, he's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give. If you know it, help me sing it right here. He's able. Y'all got it. Hey, he's able. Oh, God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise. Oh, to you. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. He's able. My God, he's able. If you know it, sing this next part with me. Hey, oh, 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 he's able. Hey, he's able. He's able. He's able. Oh, yes, he is. He's able to supply my every need. My God is able. Oh, 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 he's able. Oh, oh, he's able. Hey, don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. Oh, don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. Let the house say, he's able.
Welcome. It is great to be back in my father, Reverend Jesse Jackson's rightful place here at Rainbow Push. I'd like to thank our outstanding state senators for their leadership. Thank you, Senator Guzman, for all that you, that's tireless work. We appreciate and love you so much. We thank the incomparable Dr. Joanne Roberts, who has been both an educator and activist. We need some more teachers and activists like Dr. Roberts. We thank our outstanding senator, Senator Peters. He comes here faithfully, consistently. We know when he's down in Springfield, he's fighting for our interest, and now he's gotten into another race. You hang on in there, Peters. I'd like to thank Jeanette Wilson and also the incomparable Jackie Elgie for the SCIU. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you, Reverend Wilson, for all you do every week. We're not going to quote any scriptures today. I'm going to come to you as an elected official. It was on the cover above the fold of the New York Times this past week. There was a bromance that broke up in D.C. And that may hurt some of you, but let's just talk about what's happening in our nation's government this week. And I've had several ideas. One idea I wanted to even consider to put forth for legislation is there should be mandatory drug testing for special government employees. Now, you can't go and get into public housing and teach in the public municipality, but people are using drugs in the White House and flying on Air Force One. People that have felony convictions now live in the White House, and you can't live in public housing with a public felony conviction. Can you see the contradiction? When the bromance is over, I wish I had a songwriter. When the bromance is gone, one person is this tech billionaire on the edge. He wants to build electric cars and wants to take trips onto Mars. That is his stated mission. Read his book sometime. And then you've got another man, he can't think of how great thou art. He does not know that's a religious song. That song has not been dedicated to himself. A certified megalomaniac. So now you've got one that wants adulation and adornment, that is a tech billionaire, and you've got another one, the one that wants praise. Ladies and gentlemen, some people, believe it or not, you wake up, You praise God. You thank him for your health. You thank him that you put your feet on the ground. You thank God first. Some people turn on the television, and not until they see the stock market moving, their God is the market. They value their wealth and their life and their health according to how their stock has appreciated. And they see all of us as being expendable, that we've outlived our life. That is how they can feed the rich and starve the poor. That's how they can put in $2.4 trillion of tax breaks to go up to the richest, and at the same time, they can ask for Medicaid cuts for the poor. They can give more tax breaks to the rich, and at the same time, start attacking Medicare. They can start giving more tax breaks to the rich, and at the same time, want to cut a Social Security check. They believe in the wealthy and think we've outlived our useful life. Now that the bromance is over, one man accuses another and says, I've been so good to you. He says, we're going to pull back the electric vehicle mandates, that tax credit. Let's take one step down. What is he really saying? He was saying that in the infancy, the start of the Tesla Motor Corporation, in order to induce people, encourage them to buy your car, there had to be a state subsidy. There had to be a welfare check. They had to stimulate and create an industry by giving away tax breaks. So there was $7,500 tax incentive. Things grow that you naturally water and that you put sunlight on, and things that you incentivize. If you incentivize even economic behavior, you get more economic results. The incentives have been taken out of the black and the brown and the poor communities all across the country. I want you to know how Tesla grew. When they were going bankrupt, and in the Obama administration, they were given a lifeline of a $500 million loan when no bank would touch Tesla. Then they were giving a tax incentive by the state of California to purchase them. Then they were given a federal subsidy for you to purchase. This is why you see Teslas moving around, because the rich people that took advantage of these electric vehicles and the charging stations that were going to be built in their neighborhoods, now our neighborhoods, were incentivized to get these autonomous self-driving cars. So now when Trump says he's just mad that we pulled the incentives, of course he's mad. Then they said that Mr. Musk also wanted to have his special government employee pass extended for an additional 130-day period. I have to fill out an ethics report every month, stock trades, transactions, everything, but not a special government employee. They get to go around, get their curtail, don't have to take the same oath, don't have to go before committees, have not been elected, simply anointed, appointed by the person in charge. They are appointed to that position. He wanted an extension of that special government employee so he can continue to go in and out of these agencies, so he can continue to grow an artificially intelligent machine, so he can capture the data to do predictive analytics. That's why he wants this trove of data, so when he ends up going and mark the date into financial services, he knows what you want. When you decide to go into housing, when you're a senior, and what you spend on Medicare, and what you've done in contributions, he wants all that data. That data is not the new old oil. It's not the new old gold. This is the gold of this era. It's to have that data to do predictive analytics. Now, he got that wiped away. Then he says, Mr. Musk, I would like to be able to use my Starlink satellite system to control the Federal Aviation Administration to take off and land all planes. And they said no. So in the parting gift, the Trump administration said no to you being a special government employee. Now, he knows that's a slap in the face because, of course, they've broken every rule, every law. They have had 220 lawsuits, 90 injunctions, and you're going to tell him you cannot appoint him for another 130-day period? Then Stephen Miller got upset with him. You read that up on yourself. I'm not getting into that. Stephen Miller. Let me just leave you with, there's a blues song by a great philosopher that says, Jody's got your girl. Keep it moving. Then you go forward. Any grandparents in television land, please tell your grandchildren sitting beside you about the story of Jody. That's a real story. So he couldn't get his cars. Then he says he wanted to put his Starlink over the FAA. They said no. And then in conclusion, he wanted a young man, Isaacson, to be over NASA, the National Aeronautics Space Association, so this way he can continue to put up his extraterrestrial satellites. He's got 30,000 up there that's connecting the globe, and now he has to continually do satellite launches to keep the satellites as they burn out, refreshed, and so forth. And they pulled the nomination back of the person he had already agreed to have put in there. So they gave him an unceremonious goodbye. So Mr. Musk couldn't help but fight back and say, are you serious? You would not be president unless it was for me. Have you not forgotten who has the most Twitter followers on earth? I know this is a petty conversation, but I just got to get it out. And if you're petty, I want you to laugh too. And so then, this was all in a week's work in D.C. I'm so ashamed. It was on the cover above the fold of the Wall Street Journal. I didn't make this up. It's about a bad bromance. I didn't even know what a bromance was. Then he says, now you wouldn't be president. That $270 million I put into your campaign last year, you would not have 51 senators, Mr. President, is what Mr. Musk ended up saying, tweeting out. Mr. President, what about you on those files? He said, mark the date, DJT. So now you are seeing two of the wealthiest people on earth. And then, of course, the Donald took all he could. Then he came back and says, don't you have $22 billion in government contracts? Then the Donald says, I've been so good to you. Then he says, he's just mad like sour grapes. This is only the beginning, so I want you to buckle up, sit tight, get your popcorn. Now, let me tell you in conclusion what's happening. This is like the play of Hamlet. An older king, a young prince that's the tech billionaire, and who seizes power, when, and how. This is about greed and a lust for power. And there are some words that you are going to not hear during this administration, rather curiously. Have you heard the word poor? Have you ever heard the word for the hungry? How can we help the homeless? How can we help those that have been displaced and need additional work and need sympathy, empathy, caring, sharing, sacrifice? You don't hear those words. At the same time, they're pushing through a tax bill. He makes more headlines asking, begging for a newer 747 plane. Just unadulterated greed. And I've said it before and I'll tell you again, 1 million seconds is 11.7 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. So the billions and the trillions and the illions all sound the same when they're trying to pass off another $2.5 trillion of wealth to the wealthiest people. That lets you know our nation is wealthy. Our nation does have enough money to feed every hungry child. Our nation has enough money to build housing for all of its residents. Our nation has enough money to keep our children in school. Our nation has enough money to give health care to our seniors. Our nation has enough money for Medicare for all. We do have enough money. So I don't want you to be confused. So I want you to tune in and come back next week. And like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again this week, and God willing, let me the next week, bring our children out. Because what I want to talk about, and we're going to do it real soon, we need to talk about AI and what's going to happen with artificial intelligence. Right now, we're living through a period unofficially called AI, which is authentic ignorance. But we need to turn that around and to talk about what does artificial intelligence mean? What does machine learning mean? When you see a pattern and a practice over and over, when you talk about feeding this new algorithm, this machine that can replicate this pattern over and over, if you take all of the history and you feed it into the machine, and most of the history has been bad, that has systemic racism, that has discrimination, and you put it into the analytics, junk in is going to have junk out. Racism in is going to have racism out. These are the backbones of the analytics that are going into the software now. That's why just until a few years ago, if you typed in beautiful baby, you could only see a Caucasian child. Look in your Google. That's how the program had been programmed. That's what's now happening to our schools and our municipalities and to our insurance codes and to our zone improvement plan. That's where you get the term zip code from, zone improvement plan. And they said in the 60s when it was coming into being, if we're not careful, it'll be used in a discriminatory manner. We are now on that cusp. The studies are in. If your child's name starts with La Shah Ra Ta, you're going to be hired to be excluded from a job interview and an application. It's name discrimination. The study has already come in. I want us to go forward into the science and lean in. It's going to be a dramatic shift in employment. I left the store yesterday in the middle of the noon, probably at 1 o'clock before I caught a flight, and there were 5 people in the store that I could see of over 2,500 square feet without a cashier, 3 people stocking shelves, no one to give you help. You had to scan the card. You've not seen anything yet. This information is going to be deployed so fast. Another friend of mine in a hedge fund, he just bought 10,000 arms to go into a factory. He says after you program the first one, it can program the other arms. And these 10,000 arms now can work 23 hours a day, 7 days a week, and in the dark, in the light, in the heat, and in the cold. Automation is here. The reason we have to discuss it because this could be the verge of life being better for many more people because machine learning is going to enhance our lifestyle. If it's not corrected, you're going to see another level of wealth created and times get harder and poorer for the masses. And it's happening right now. Thank you so much. Come back next week. Let's have a great convention. Here, Jerry Wilson.
Boy, give Jonathan a round of applause. You couldn't have heard this anywhere else but at Push. And one of the things that we're trying to do with this convention, every Saturday we have a STEM program, science, technology, engineering, and math. And when Congressman Jackson says bring your children, they better learn STEM and not keep playing with phones and playing video games. As he indicated, the automotive industry is already completely robotic almost. They don't need workers in those factories. When they said we're going to bring manufacturing back home, they're bringing it back to machines. You go in the factory, they lift the cars, they don't have a lunch break, they don't go away on break and don't come back. They're never late for work, they're always there. We are being replaced in the automotive industry and every manufacturing industry with robots. Our children must know how to design, build, and program them. And so we have a STEM program every Saturday. Our children need to grow up. He grew up. My daughter grew up here without their permission. They were brought here. They learned to speak here. Orly Saunders started Oratorical. She called it Push Visionettes. Your children need to speak correct English. They need to learn how to speak before audiences. They can learn that here. Dr. Roberts was one of the founders of the Push for Excellence program. We did that here and then around the country. You're blessed to be here, and so we still want you to register for the Push Convention. It's Thursday, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We will be here all day on Saturday. Some people around the nation are marching for No King's Day because someone in the White House doesn't want to be president, wants to be king. We have a democracy. We do not have a monarchy. And so we're not having a King's Day, and so people around the nation are marching. Instead of Flag Day, they're celebrating No King's Day. But we're going to be here working and organizing, as Jackie Algie said, because we're going to be taken to the streets. We're going to challenge these corporations that are not giving us our fair share of dollars and our fair share of jobs, income that we should get. If I buy and I'm your margin of profit, I want you to give back to me equal to what I have given to you with my dollars. I want contracts. We should be building every fast food store in our community. We should be maintaining those stores. We should own those stores because we are buying the food given out in those stores. So we're going to be talking about that at the convention. We want you to join us. Registration is free. Go to rainbowpush.org and register, or you can go right downstairs right now because you may not like technology, may not know technology. We got technology right on the first floor. Go downstairs. Those of you who are watching, go to rainbowpush.org and register. And join us in Chicago Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We will be live streaming many of the sessions so that if you can't get here, you can watch it on our Facebook and our live stream. Okay? Y'all with me? Those who are in the city, in the building, we will have a volunteer meeting in the library immediately following this. Those of you who came in late and didn't have an opportunity to share your gifts with us, it's time. You can give now. You can give electronically. You can Zelle. You can text the word PUSH to 41444. Call somebody, text somebody and say, text the word PUSH to 41444. I need you to take your phones out. Y'all in the room, take your phones out. If you're not driving, take your phone out. Text the word PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. And then when you finish, tell some of your friends to text the word PUSH to 41444. I know you haven't done it before, and you can see how wonderful it is, how easy it is for you to make a gift. Then some of you, we want you to go across the hall to the Freedom Store. We have T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, books that you need to read, books by Reverend Jackson, books by Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson, books by Reverend Frank Thomas, right across the hall. You can get some books. Text the word PUSH, 41444. Can we have some leaving music? Won't you stand as we prepare to leave? Those of you who want a photo with the Reverend Jackson, he will be right here. Don't all rush up at one time. Mr. Idris.
Oh, walk with me. talk with me, Lord. Oh, talk with me. Come on, man. Yeah,